Is spiritual appropriation a real thing? Yeah, dude. In fact, you might be participating in spiritual appropriation and not even know it. Let me give you one of the largest examples. We are told over and over and over again, burn sage, burn white sage. It does all these things. Here is my problem with sage, and I had to learn this from the indigenous community. When you are told that if it doesn't come from a background that you actually have a connection to, if you aren't growing it, if you don't have a connection to it, then you don't need to use sage. I learned that from my father. My father was, when I was a young kid, was working for the Shoshone Nation as a social worker. So I had the opportunity to go on to the Shoshone Reservation tribe and to commune and to talk to the elders. And that's when I learned, oh, wait a second. What we have always been taught in terms of burning sage for these very specific reasons of clearing actually can hurt our indigenous communities because the resources become thinner. And that's actually part of their religious practice. Now, you might belong or have a connection to some kind of religious practice that is in connection to sage, and that's a very different topic. You know, even Hawaiians had sage. There's an endemic sage that grows on Haleakala, you know, and there was practice in connection to that. So that is one of the examples of a spirit appropriation if you don't understand where that's coming from. Now let's expand beyond that. In theory, everything is all connected. Everything is light and love and rainbows and unicorns and glitter. Everything is so, it's so magical in that way. However, it is still important that you understand if things are coming in as light and love and everything is connected, it's important to know where that download has come from. If it is coming from some kind of Aboriginal or Indigenous background. Why do I say that? Because somewhere along the line, those elders did work for you. They did it for you. They figured out the cognitive process, the educational process, the healing process, so you could be where you're at now. So in order to really ethically go forward and understand those processes, then spend time with those communities, with those elders, with those education, with that religious background, even if it doesn't resonate as yours, to get to know it. Spend time in the language. Spend time in the ceremony. So that way you can make up your mind cognitively of that does work for me or that really doesn't resonate for me. Or I really like this part of that practice. When I implement that into my own practice, I'm going to change it up a little bit to incorporate a little bit of this. I think that alchemy is wonderful in the spiritual world, but take the time to get to know the ingredients. I'm not going to cook a meal for someone if I don't know that they're allergic to certain kinds of ingredients. I need to spend the time getting to know what those ingredients are in the food. You're doing the same exact thing chemically, holistically inside of your body when it comes to spiritual practices. So again, if you spend the time to get to know the culture and the practice and the elders and all the information that surrounds that beautiful, unique culture, then appropriation is that's not what's happening. You're doing something else. You're actually adopting and learning about it and making cognitive choice of how that works for you. I hope that you ethically move in to the spiritual community. If you are wanting to connect to some of the indigenous and Aboriginal backgrounds, I hope that you are spending the time to do that. I really, really do. It matters. It is worth it. Someone did the work ahead of time for you so you could show up in the way that you are. Right? Right?